Hello, that is the second part of GRASS GIS tutorial. Topics will start GRASS GIS, data structure in GRASS by Latacunga dataset, GRASS modes, text, graphic user interface and background, and GRASS settings and RC files. Let's see how to start GRASS GIS. When you haven't already installed GRASS GIS, you may launch it from your menu or from command line by typing GRASS. Anyway, the result will be the same, the GRASS welcome window. Let's see, to use GRASS GIS you have to know the GRASS GIS data structure. That is actually database directory, location and map set. So 3 steps we have. That is not 3 steps, but those are the points, the items of a hierarchy, a data hierarchy. GRASS GIS has a hierarchical data structure, which means you only can open a map in GRASS GIS when that is a part of GRASS GIS. First have to import a map, a data into GRASS GIS before you use it. When something is imported that is a part of this hierarchical data set, it means it is not necessary to use as a layer to open that. You can access the data without opening that into the layer manager because its structure is already known thanks for this hierarchical data structure. Let's see. In CityApp, it means we have a CityApp data directory, a CityApp directory, CityApp main directory, where there is a GRASS GIS directory. That is the database directory. Database directory means there are GRASS locations. GRASS location means a directory, a folder containing map sets. In a file manager, you can see it. CityApp GRASS. That is the database directory. CityApp GRASS, that is the database directory. Here you can see there are locations, while in the file manager there are folders. One of these folders is the global. In global there are map sets. Here you can see there are subfolders. The same, of course, because the same structure, a hierarchical structure. It is very important to know map set in the location has the same geodetic datum and has the same projection system. For example, in this case, in CityApp GRASS database directory, we have a single location named as global. This global location is in VGS84 projection system, EPSG 4326. Each map set in this location has the same projection system. That's why each map of these map sets may overlaid by a single click, since those have the same projection system and metadata, geodetic metadata system. When you want to start GRASS GIS, it is necessary first to set the database directory, then select a location and a map set. Permanent map set, it is a mandatory map set. Permanent map set contains metadata. Permanent map set contains description of the current location. Permanent map set may contain map as well, vector and raster maps. When the user opens permanent map set, only permanent map set maps can be accessed. When the user opens another map set, module 1 or whatever, or your own map set, you can access only to your own map set and permanent map set, but you can't change it. So if you want to change a map in permanent map set, you have to log in to permanent map set when starting the GRASS GIS. When you want to work out of the permanent map set, that is recommended. Select the map set you want to work in, start GRASS GIS, and now you can access maps of these map set and a permanent map set as well. Permanent map set, it is a shared map set. Each user, each map set may access to permanent map set for reading and not for writing. So when user open GRASS GIS out of permanent map set, it is impossible to change maps in the permanent map set, but it is possible to read them. Let's see. We have a training data set. GRASS GIS data. Now this will serve as GRASS GIS database directory. In this directory, we have a single location now, superficie 60 location. It has two map sets by default. Permanent, of course, because it is a mandatory map set containing the metadata and, of course, some maps as well. Log in as user 1, or you can create your own. Your own map set, create your own map set. When you try to create your own map set, the system will suggest your login name to create it. Now I can use this or any other. Start GRASS GIS, and now GRASS GIS is started. That is the graphic user interface of GRASS GIS. Three windows we have. Layer Manager to manage layers. Map Display to display maps. Zoom, query, and so on. And we have a console, a terminal, a command line to access GRASS through commands. That is very flexible. That is the power of GRASS GIS actually, but of course us have to learn how to use these commands. Layer Manager is to manage layers. Vector, raster, image, three-dimensional data and database can access it in GRASS GIS. When we want to access a vector layer, select Add Vector Map Layer. When you want to modify, open or manage a GRASS layer, vector layer, and if you want to change it because you want to open a raster layer, select Raster Map Layer. In our training data set, both raster and vector data is available. Those are available. Raster map. First select a raster map. You can see your map set, which is empty since that is brand new map set containing no maps can be accessed, and a permanent map set. In the permanent map set, there are raster maps. Select elevation.dam, digital elevation model. That will display now. To display a vector map, add vector map layer, for example. Roads from permanent map set. Permanent map set, of course, since my own map set, your own map set is still empty. And display. Name of the maps has two parts. The name at map set. That is from permanent map set. In display manager, you can zoom in, zoom out, zoom to the entire layer, and we have a zoom history. Return to previous zoom, step by step. Command line allows us to give commands to GRASS GIS. That is the graphic user interface mode of GRASS GIS. Of course, it is possible to log into GRASS GIS into another way. That is a text way and background way. For this purpose, in preferences, you can change the settings, how to use GRASS GIS. But there is a better way. Let's see this. To quit GRASS GIS, close graphic user interface, will close graphic user interface only. Why quit GRASS GIS will quit the entire GIS system. No. For GRASS GIS, each user has its own settings in this home directory, in the home directory of the user. In Linux system, of course, that is in the home directory of the user, that there is a hidden directory .grass7 containing RC that is for settings, a simple text file. A simple text editor is very suitable to manage it. Map set, that is the default map set of the default GIS database, default GIS location, and we have a graphic user interface that may WX practically the graphic user interface, or simple text. Save these changes, and now starting GRASS GIS, text mode will appear. No windows, no graphic user interface, no layer manager, no map display, only command line. For expert users, that is very suitable because more flexible. Even, of course, no way to access the graphic user interface. It's untrue, since of course everything can be accessed through command line to GRASS GIS. g.gui, it is a command, will start the graphic user interface again. To quit GRASS GIS, exit and the command line, and will immediately quit the GRASS GIS. Now I will set again the graphic user interface, and for the next start, for the next launch, of course this graphic user interface was started. There is a third mode to access GRASS GIS actually. That is through simple commands when the GRASS GIS is not started, but a function, a module of GRASS GIS is only started. For this purpose, has to start GRASS GIS as a command, then define a database in my own home directory, that is the GRASS GIS data directory, SPARE60 GRASS7 location, permanent map set. It means start GRASS GIS space using this data directory, location and map set, and now execute a GRASS command. There are GRASS commands, hundreds of GRASS commands there are, and now it allows the user to access those GRASS commands through a command line without launching the GRASS GIS separately. For example, now the GRASS GIS listed the vector maps of this map set, of the declared map set. Let's see again. GRASS GIS in this data directory, this location, permanent map set. Execute this GRASS command, practically means list vector maps of this map set. And the command is performed. Since that is a command, now it is a simpler Linux command, a simpler bash command. That's why, of course, it is possible to manage it into the Linux command line. For example, redirect it into a separate file. Now the result of this listing, the result of query of these maps, will redirect into this file. And now I can see these files even here in my own home directory. There is a file named as listed vector maps, a simple text file containing the vector maps of permanent map set of Superfice 60 GRASS 7 location, which is in my data directory. It's very good, it's very useful, because this way, this hierarchical data structure allows us to access easily the maps when those are imported, when those are already imported. Of course, when someone wants to use a map data into GRASS GIS, first has to import that map into the GRASS GIS. Then that is the part of this hierarchical data structure, allowing to access that map through graphic user interface or text-based interface, or using GRASS GIS as a library where there are modules of this library. That was the second part of GRASS GIS tutorial. Next we'll about how to use GRASS GIS itself.